Hey everyone, it's Larry here at LC Model Shipbuilding, and in this episode we're going to be completing our airplanes that we started in the previous video, and then we're going to put the catapults together. So they come out really nice. I'm pretty happy with how it looks, so looking forward to showing you what we did, and let's get started. Okay, so we're back here on the planes. So what has to happen with these to make these wings fold back? Essentially, what we're going to have to do, I keep putting that on backwards, is determine where to make our cut. Oh, it is straight. It goes on the front here. Okay, so I'm right. So basically, what I need to have happen is I need that mounting point to stay the same. But these, according to the diagram here, they're pretty much a straight cut. So I'm going to need it to kind of come straight here, basically where that line is. So that's where I'm going to cut. And I don't know if there, yeah, there is. Okay, so that front line right there, or that top line, I just want to make sure it's in the exact same spot, and it looks to be. So what we're gonna do, I'm hoping this works because I really want it to work. We're going to put our cutter right here and just basically work our way through. And this is a fairly new blade, so hopefully it will get the cut that I need it to get. And it's not an overly thick piece of plastic, but still it's taking some effort to get through it here. And if this doesn't work, I'll just go to a bigger blade, essentially. Okay, that actually worked quite well. And yes, so the hole is still there like I need it to be, so that'll work. So we're going to do the same thing over here, and I'm not worried about cutting all the way through. Kind of scoring from the top and bottom seems to work just perfectly fine. Okay, that went all the way through. So now we're going to glue our remaining piece here onto the body of the plane. I just painted that engine. So let me get a little bit of glue here. And I'm just going to kind of fill it in around those holes. Just want to make sure I get it going the right direction. I already broke the gun off on this one, so I have to re-glue that on, so that's why I'm kind of handling it the way I am. Alright, so that's on. Now, we basically want the wings to kind of be back like this. So what will end up happening, there's the two mounting points for the pontoon holder, which basically go on to the bottom of the plane here. Just kind of cleaning that up a little bit before I dip it in the glue. Okay. Let me just get some glue here for it. Okay, and I want them to angle just a tiny bit. And we lost our glue. Sorry. So, try this again here. That was my fault because I didn't have it angled how I needed it to be. And if I have to, I'll use some adhesive promoter, which is starting to look like I'm going to have to. Give it one more time here. Yep. So anyway, I'm going to pause it while I get these kind of set. And when we come back, then we'll figure out exactly how the wing is going to end up getting attached to this whole little setup. Part of it that is on my mind is I could use the photo etch pieces, I think, but I gotta look at the diagram a little bit closer from in the book. Yeah, these just don't want to stay without having that wing there. So this is becoming a bit annoying. Depending on how this goes, I don't know if I'm doing the last one folded. I might just build it completely normal. But in any case, well, there we go. I thought it would be worthwhile to do this. But I may end up being completely wrong. So let me go ahead and get the other side on, and I'll play with this one to see if I can get it on, and I will be back. Okay, so I got the first one kind of set. The wings are on and folded out. So we're going to do the same thing with this. And basically, all I'm doing is dipping the corner of the wing in a little bit of glue and setting it down basically at the angle kind of shown in the book. So that basically does that. And then once we get that done, we're going to put our what do you call it, our pontoons on, and then I'll probably do the decals next, which I pretty much covered in the previous video, so I'm not going to go into crazy detail with them. I'll show them quick, but it will be fairly quickly done on this. But we're basically moving right along here to get this part done, and then we'll move into the canopies and the other pieces of photo etch that go on to the plane on the underneath there. So I'm just kind of setting that, making sure it gets on there right. Now, where the wing separates, I am going to paint that a silver. That's kind of what it looks like anyway in the book. So we'll I'll do that probably off camera just to get them on. So there's our first one. Oops. I had a weird feeling that was going to fall off. It didn't look like it was setting straight. Try that again here. Okay, there we go. Well, it'll be glued down anyway, so there's that. But I'm going to go ahead and put the other one on here and re-glue that machine gun on, paint up those silver pieces, and probably do a little bit of other touch-up paint work that I have to do quick, and I'll be back. Okay, all of the planes are painted up, so now I'm going to do the little photo etch piece that goes in between the pylons, or the, not pylons, the pontoons, kind of a support bracket, I believe. So I'm going to cut these out quick, and then we'll get them installed. And then after that, we will do the canopy for the cockpit, and then we'll move on to the catapult. So we're moving right along here. But I'm real happy with how these turned out after I got the clear on the planes. Come on. It's not stuck on. Here we go. Alright, so I'm just going to cut them all out. So I have them. So let me pause it and I'll come back because there's no sense in watching me cut. Okay, so this is the front bracket that goes on, basically holding the pontoons together. So I did scratch it a little bit playing with it here, but I'm going to have to touch that back up. I already did the rear one, which is essentially the exact same thing. We're just going to come in from underneath the pylon, not pylon, pontoon, and kind of drop it on here. Now, for some reason, this one has been giving me a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to hit it with some accelerator, just because I'm getting sick of playing with it. Okay, there we go. So that one's on, and you can see them kind of going across there. These are all on this plane, and they're all on this plane. So we're going to go ahead and put the last ones on this plane, and then we'll go over to our canopies for the cockpit. We'll get them installed, and then we'll move on to our catapults. I'm also going to take a look at some of my crew members that I have and see if I got any pilots or you know, people that would make sense for the planes here. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is dipping it in glue. For some reason, that one didn't want to land where it's supposed to. Okay, now you may or may not notice that it's not hitting the pylon or the bracket perfect, so I'm going to bend that down a little bit, and then I'll hit it with a little bit of glue just to hold it. And that could be because I modified these to have the wings folded back, so I'm not overly surprised by that. Okay, and now we're going to do the same with the rear. Dip it in some glue. And we're going to drop it in from behind. Where it'll fall. Okay, that one. go. Okay, so that's them. Now we have our canopy covers here. So I painted them and they've been drying. You get a piece of white board here. Now I debated whether or not to try to put glass in these. They do not come with glass, and I thought about doing it, but I also want to be able to see inside at all the detail on the cockpit, so I'm not going to mess with that. So essentially these basically fold down on the sides. Then the back comes down, and you want to try to get your side angles the same as your rear piece there. Then your front comes down, not all the way though, because you have two smaller triangles that fold back to meet the cockpit. So basically it looks like that. Probably not too earth-shattering. So I'm going to just dip it in some glue here, and I'm going to slide it in behind the gun, and then drop it down. Like that, essentially. There we go. So that one's on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the other one on, and first I want to take a look here and see what kind of crew we have. Okay, so I got these off of eBay. These all look to be more of no crew that is actually sitting. So I don't think I'm going to have anything that's actually going to work in the planes. It looks more like air traffic controllers and that sort of thing, and, you know, crew members. There's a guy that kind of looks like he's sitting now. Yeah, no, he's not. He's kneeling and working on something. So I'm going to check out and see if I have anything in my Titanic crew members that look like they might be able to pass for pilots. I doubt it, but I'll see what I got. If not, I just won't have any crew in there. But I would like to put one of these on the catapult so that it, you know, it looks like it's getting launched or about to get launched or whatever. But if that doesn't work, I can live without it. So again, just fold down, fold the rear one down, and then the two triangles at the front, basically like that. And I really would love to see if I can make one partially open too, but I want to look in the book and see how they opened, because I think if I just cut it in half and it was like a slide out one, I might be able to get that effect. But like I said, I want to check out what they look like first before I go and do that modification. I think they actually enter right there, so I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and do these last two. If I figure out a way to make them open or something is different, as I'm going here in the next minute or so, I'll film that. But otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and put these last two on, and then I'll come back and show you that before we start the catapult. Okay, so here's all 4 completed, and there's the folded wing variant and the non-folded wing variant. So that's how they're coming out. So we're gonna go over and do the catapult now, and then I'm gonna, after I put the catapult on, I'm not attaching anything yet because I'm not ready for that yet on the ship, but I'll kind of set it there, and then we can kind of put some of the planes there and kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So let me switch over here to catapults, and we'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna start the catapult. Another great example of the directions here. We have this circle in here that is not notated as to what it is. I'm guessing it's turned brass, so I'm gonna have to look for that. It does at least notate this rod that goes in here, but I'm gonna go ahead and start down here. So that is this long piece right here. So I'm just gonna cut this out and start the bending, and then it has pieces that attach onto it as well. So we'll get that here in a second. Okay, so this is kind of a longer piece, as you can see, and then it has these pieces that fold up and then fold down. So we're going to go ahead and fold this up how it needs to go, and then the same with the other side here. And this bends pretty easy, so no real need for a brass bender at all on this. Okay, so that is pretty much the length of it. Then we're going to take our tweezer here and just bend these over, it looks like, kind of like that. Sorry, my phone just keeps going off in this video. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me. Alright, so now we need pieces D2, so I'm going to get them cut out a while, and I guess I'm going to answer the phone. So I'm going to pause it quick, and I will be back. But these are D2 right here, so I'm going to cut all them out. Okay, so we should be done playing with the phone. So with these, real important that you just run the file along the bottom here of the sprue, otherwise it's not going to fit how it's supposed to onto the track here. So it doesn't take much, but you just need a little bit there just to get that off. And then I just have been dipping in glue, and it does have the lines on the track, so you know where to put it, which is good. And there's like 10 of these, but they are all the same, so nothing major. And what I've been kind of finding is good on this is just get it set and then kind of put a little bit of pressure on on the side there, and generally it will land how you need it to until I'm on camera. But that's how it always goes. Now, the other thing I will mention, there is not a typo, but a picture error in the instructions here. So these little pieces do not look exactly how they do in the picture, but they are the right ones by the number, and they do fit how they're supposed to. So I'm going to say that it was just an error in making the directions. There we go. We just got a couple more of these, and then we'll do the upper part. And my guns are dry, so I can start to put the barrels in on them in a minute here. I'll probably do that before I go on to the upper end. There seems to be a few more of these extra than what are needed. I cut them all out, so I'm hoping I don't need them somewhere else later, which is possible. So I'll just kind of save them to the side. Got a little spot there on the edge. Okay, so I'm just going to put these up here with my two other pieces that I cut too early and leave that. Alright, so now we have D3, which is these. So I'm going to go ahead and get them cut out. Okay, and once I get this one cut out, there's several other brackets similar to what we just did on the lower section there that are D4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them times 2 would be 8. So yeah, they give you extra on here. I'm only going to cut out 8 this time though, instead of all 10. And I'm trying to cut real close to the edge there so I don't have to file, hopefully. No guarantees though. Okay, so that's 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm missing 1. No, I didn't cut the last one. There we go. Okay, so this, like the other one, gets folded up. So it's kind of showing only fold one side at a time, I guess. And then install the pieces. And then fold the last section. So there is small marks where they go here. There's one there, there's one there, one there, one there. So it does kind of help you to be able to see it at least, which is good. I actually thought this catapult was going to be worse, looking at what it looks like, but so far it has not actually been that bad to put together. I gotta hit my tweezers with the lighter here shortly to get the glue off. Okay, so this one goes here. And then we have this one here. Now the other one is the exact same thing, and there's a couple more pieces we have to go ahead and add before we do our fold. Okay. Now we have D6 and D5. So I'll just put these up here. D5 and 6 are right here next to it. I'm just going to cut all or both of them out because I'll do the other one off camera, but I'll do this one on camera. Okay, so the solid one goes first. No, don't do that. Okay. And the one with the holes. Okay, now we put our pipe in, or our rod, whatever you want to call it here. So I gotta go grab that and look for these wheels. So let me check that out and I'll be right back. Okay, so the light blue indicates kit parts I have determined. So we have K31, which is the rod, and then we have those two wheels that go on each piece here, which are K17 and K18. So essentially, to get the rod in, we're going to just put our glue in like we just did and just simply drop it on. So that goes on just like that. Then I have our wheels right here. So we're going to take this, and to do the bend on this, I am going to use a straight edge. Actually, that won't work because it has the pieces that go up. So I'm just going to bend it by hand ever so carefully. Okay, that didn't really give any problem, so no biggie there. Now that rod seems a little bit loose, so I'm going to give it a tiny bit more glue here. On the connection point, and then we fold up the back here, just like that. And that essentially builds that part. Then we have our wheels that go through to the other side here. Now, they don't quite fit through the hole there, so I'm just going to kind of glue it onto the piece here on the end. Although, let me just see something. Yeah, it's not quite long enough, so it's alright, not a big deal. What we're just gonna do is drop a dip of glue there and a dip of glue on the other side. We'll put this through. And then we'll put our other wheel right here. Just like that. Okay, so that turned out pretty. And now we just got to do the same thing on the other end. And I went ahead and pre-trimmed and filed these before I was videoing, so that did happen though. There we go, that one's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this one, and then we'll put it down onto the lower catapult bracket here. And the catapult is pretty much done at that point. And it turned out nice. It's a very nice little detailed piece. Again, I would say the instructions are ambiguous at best, so you know, you just got to study it a little bit, but not overly challenging once you get rolling at it. And everything does fit nicely, so that's kind of important. Aside from these little wheels, they don't really kind of do how I'd want, because ideally you'd want that piece to go all the way through, and it just doesn't, because it's not long enough. But not overly difficult to improvise it. Okay, and last piece here. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to pause it for a second, let that kind of set up, and then we'll drop this down on. Okay, so these aren't glued on yet. As you can see, the catapults here, that's not glued on. Nothing really is glued on at all. It's all just kind of sitting here. But anyway, you can kind of get an idea of different potentials that I can kind of set up with. So I have one peeking out of the hanger here. I do have another hanger over here, but it doesn't exactly fit in there real well. So I still have this other plane here. So I'm going to figure out if I'm going to use it or not. But in any case, that's pretty much how they came out. And I think I'll keep both of these on the catapult. I like them. So pretty happy with that. But anyway, that's going to pretty much wrap up this video. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time here on LC Model Shipbuilding.